Welcome back to my channel. I have 1 year left on my master studies. So naturally I start to think about the future, where to go, where to work. So Phillips invited me when they are showcasing their newest technology on IFA, a big technology fair in Berlin. So I will be able to go there and talk with interns, I will be able to talk with graduates and engineers on set. And I'm really curious about the opportunity at Phillips. So join me on this vlog where I will meet them and go to IFA. Hi guys, I just ate breakfast and I'm on my way to IFA in 10 minutes. So see you there, bye! So now guys, I am at IFA and I'm so excited for you guys to join me today, so come on! The first thing I want to know is if there's a place for an AI nerd like me at Phillips. To answer that, I'm going to talk with an engineer, Ignacy, that worked on some machine learning algorithms. I'm sitting here with Ignacy, and he's an engineer here at Phillips. So just tell me a little bit like your role at Phillips right now.
So I'm working in Philips for quite some time and mostly as a mechanical engineer, and lately also in the digital domain. So we have a smart shaver connected to an application. So over there I was working in the past in developing the blades for it, so that's more on the mechanical engineering side, but the last year I've been working as a more like digital engineer, I'd say.
Digital engineer.
More on the front end of the app and also the algorithms of the shaver itself.
And like what did you study before?
So my background is actually not really related to software engineering. I did a bachelor's in biomedicine, and from there I did the master's in biomedical engineering, where I learned more about the mechanical engineering side and so on. So that's what brought me into Philips actually, more on the mechanical engineering side. But I always had a passion for coding, so that's also a thing, that I learned coding on my own actually.
That's cool.
And practiced a lot with it, doing my own projects and so on, so that also helped once I was in Philips to move to other projects more on the digital domain, which is what I'm doing now. So I don't have a formal background in software engineering,
but you still
but I still enjoy it so much.
I think a lot of people learn coding on their own. Like even if you take classes in uni, you evolve doing it by yourself, you know?
I think for me that's always the best way to learn actually, to have like some projects, something in mind that you want to develop and just do it, then just start. And there are so many resources online to learn yourself. That's just how I see it. I had like a course at the university where you learn the most basics, but it doesn't give you like the real experience that would give you just coding something yourself as a project and checking resources online on how to solve the problem you might have.
Did you start in healthcare or how did you get into it?
I actually started in the personal care domain because I said I studied biomedical engineering, and then here we develop appliances for female beauty and shaving, so it's all about the hair and the skin, so that's how I got into there, and more as a mechanical engineer. But then over time, I really expressed that I wanted to move into the digital domain because I said I really like the coding part and all the digital work. So I kept on telling my manager, please, if something comes up, bring me there. And after a year or so, an opportunity came in a project in the Smart Saver, and they gave me the role of what we call functional developer engineer over there.
Okay, and what does that actually mean, functional developer?
So that's basically developing the function of the shaver itself. So let's say in the case of a shaver would be you want to shave without any irritation, so what should be the design of the blades so that there is no irritation after your shave. In the case of the digital domain, for example, where you have this algorithm to track how you're shaving, it should be, the algorithm should have a certain accuracy on detecting the shape of the motion you're doing. So that's the function, and that's what you need to have to develop.
So the shaver you have developed is powered by different machine learning algorithms, right?
Correct, yeah, it does have indeed. So what we did, it was, we had a lot of people shaving, and then the shaver contains an accelerometer inside, so then we could track what sort of motion they were doing. And then that signal is what we basically we label, and we feed it into a neural network. And then we classify basically whether it's a circle or a stroke or something in between. And we can tell what kind of motion the user is doing, and then we can coach them real time on what motion they should do to have the best performance, no irritation, best closeness, and as fast as they like.
And how big a team is necessary to develop an algorithm like this?
So I believe we're 4 or 5 people. So we had 4 data scientists working in Eindhoven, and I was in Drachten in the development side as the function developer.
Yeah.
And we're constantly in contact.
Yeah, so there's definitely a lot of opportunities if you're a data scientist in Phillips.
Oh, definitely. And it's growing a lot, actually. It's really growing. Not only in the personal health domain, but also in healthcare.
Okay.
Because as you might know, in Phillips, we do a lot of MRI scanners, X-ray machines, and so on. And I think in the healthcare domain, there's a lot of potential for machine learning, actually, to help the doctors and so on take better decisions.
Yeah.
And that's actually what we are into in Phillips. So that's really something that is growing, and there are many opportunities over there.
That's
also
really
in the personal health domain.
There's, we talked about it before as well with other interviewers, and Philip doesn't always stand out as the healthcare,
Fully true.
But you do so much in it, so it's really interesting to see different opportunities for developers and for data scientists to come into Phillips.
So basically, indeed, if you like more to be facing the consumer in a fast-paced domain, you can come to the personal care team, and we have the shavers, we have the Garmin Care, also will be powered with AI, we have floor care devices, the toothbrush also, for example, all of those will be powered with AI.
And it's also some mirror you have there as well?
Indeed, we also have now a smart mirror, which basically connects to all the different propositions we have.
But you did biomed in uni, and then you went in as a developer or engineer first, and then developer, and now you do machine learning.
Yeah.
How did you learn all of that? I mean, machine learning is a pretty heavy subject, and did Phillips give you opportunity to grow inside, or did you do it more in the evenings at home?
Totally. Well, it's a bit a combination of both, because I said I do have a personal interest on it, so then I did spend some of my free time on these topics. But at the same time, Phillips, that's also what I like from it. It provides a lot of opportunities to grow in whichever direction you like. And they can just bring you to trainings where you can learn the basic of the algorithms, the hardcore machine learning, let's say. And then, of course, you can implement it in your current project. Mm-hmm. So that's also a nice way to learn, because it's not only getting the theory, but getting it and implementing it, which really helps into getting those learnings.
Yeah.
And that's how it now.
And what would you say is something that you think is really valuable to learn at university? What would have helped you if you learned it before, or what have you learned and it's helping you right now?
I think for sure you need the basis of coding, so more on not so much to know a language, but really on the how to think as a coder on the problem-solving domain, let's say. If you have those problem-solving skills and really on how to think abstractly of a problem and so on, I think that's basically the main skill you should have. And the rest you can either learn on yourself or on the job, actually. That's also a nice thing that you can, as long as you know the basics, you can always learn more on the job and with the trainings that they will offer. So I would say spend more time in learning really the basics of problem solving.
Yeah.
And what I said, you always should be eager to learn. So doing your own projects and finding the problems with those projects, trying to find the solutions online, all those things. If you have those 2 skills, you're set for a good career, basically, yeah.
Okay, that actually sounds really cool.
Yeah.
And what do you think about your journey? What do you want to learn next in Phillips? Do you want to stay on the track in machine learning, best subject ever, or do you want to do something else?
I think I want to indeed keep growing on that part.
Yeah.
Mostly on the data science part. Lately, I'm also working with as a data analyst, and I think we're gathering now so many data from all our appliances that we can do so many cool things from it, that's actually what I would like to develop, just using all the data from not only from the shaver, but from the toothbrush, from the iron, but also from the healthcare devices and so on, and do something meaningful out of that.
Yeah, I think that's, I talked a lot about as well, meaningfulness in your work, and how working at Phillips seems to be affecting people in the real life. Is that something that drives you as well, or why did you?
So indeed, what I really like from that is that basically in the personal care domain, you're just doing products that everyone uses in their day-to-day life. So you see actually your family members, relatives, or maybe friends who have those appliances, and that's really cool actually. And you see they are really happy of using them. So even I use them, so that's also the thing. So in that sense, it's quite nice. But also in the healthcare domain, it has maybe a bigger impact in that sense, that you're also helping to people to have a healthier life and maybe recover faster. So I think in any area of Philips, you can basically do really meaningful innovation. That's also what I like from the company.
You see that? It's my toothbrush. Is this me? A big data science team and the opportunity to further learn tech skills really attracts me. So I really like that. So let's see how to get into Phillips as an intern. I'm going to meet Marco Rizzo because he was an intern first and then he got a full-time job at Phillips. So it's going to be really interesting to talk to him. I'm here with Marco Rizzo. Tell me a little bit about yourself first.
Well, I'm 25. I'm living in Amsterdam and I'm working in the global headquarters there, Philips, in male grooming, and I'm a junior consumer marketing manager.
Okay, so you were an intern, right, before you got your full-time job. And how was that? How did you get the internship?
So I applied for my internship in male grooming when I was still in university, so I was still doing my studies in business administration. And when I applied for it, I initially got some interviews. So I had 2 rounds specifically. Mm-hmm. And when I got the position, Philips still helped me both to develop professionally, but still I had time to carry on with my thesis, which I completed when I was an intern.
What would you say are the qualities that Philips is looking for when you hire interns, for example?
Proactive mindset is always very appreciated. Also, the curiosity and the fact that you ask a lot of questions and you always question yourself in the first place. So you strive for continuous improvement is a very good basis to start from. Another quality that is very well appreciated is the ability to deal with quite a bit extensive set of data, because we work with data on a daily basis, like most of companies nowadays, and it's core to the way we do things. It's so these, I would say, are the 2 most appreciated qualities. Then obviously experience in similar environments is also very appreciated, but it also depends a lot on your personality. So the way you phrase things, the way you communicate. Communication is another extremely important skill that you need to have in order to have a good chance of getting the internship.
So you would say a lot of questions, driving yourself forward and being analytical in your mindset. Yeah.
Yes.
Because you got to a full-time position. What would you say, why did Philips pick you to go forward and be the full-time employee?
Well, in my case, I already knew that I wanted to stay in Philips, because some people just decide that maybe it's not their environment, so they just leave the internship as a learning experience. For me, it was clear from very early in the internship that I wanted to stay where I was. So I made it clear with my manager, and this allowed me to access projects that would give me some visibility. And from there, the extent to which you network and the amount of people you work with, if the performance is good, you can count on their approval, and in a sense, you build your basis of consent for your manager to decide if you're worthy or not in this sense.
And do you have another CV tip that my audience could take?
One-pagers.
One-pagers.
Yes.
Easy breezy.
Yes, really. The shorter, so a good exercise would be write your CV the way you think it should be written, and as long as you prefer, and then take that, read it after 2-3 days, and turn it into a one-pager. So without necessarily cutting information, but phrase it in a way that can fit in one page and is easy to read. Something very interesting is when applicants are writing their skills with the scales. So that's really visually very easy to read. So it helps to screen faster in a sense.
That's actually a really good tip.
Thanks.
So make it more visual rather than just stating things.
Indeed.
Cool. Why Philips?
So Philips for me is a company that really takes heart into what consumers feel and experience on a daily basis, to the point where every time that I'm doing something, I'm thinking who is going to be impacted by what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. And for every innovation that we do, every product that we launch is really something that comes back. And I love the fact that we keep consumers at our heart, because it really makes me feel I'm doing something for someone somewhere in the world, in another country, for another reason. I do not see it, but I know it's happening. It's very important for me.
Would you say you fell more in love in the company as your journey has got along, or has it been perfect from the start, or how has it been?
No, I would say the first. when I started, it was an interesting job, but the more I was working with my team and working in Phillips, the more I realized that it was getting more serious from my perspective.
That's great. And how did you choose where to go in Phillips? Was it already straight ahead from the internship? You were also in male grooming, or did you choose that afterwards?
So I knew from the start that I would start in male grooming. But actually, if I have to be 100% sincere with you, when I started, I was not super confident about working in shaving, just because I didn't shave quite a lot. So for me, it was like, okay, yeah,
whatever,
male grooming could be coffee. But actually, the more I was working in it, the more I realized that actually it makes a big impact. Like it's.
What's the best part of it?
So the best part of it would be that it's part of our daily lives, but we tend to forget about it. Shaving for some people is extremely important, like they have to shave every day.
Yeah.
Some people even carry their beard as a way to express themselves, right? So you see people that are clean shaved, people that have stubbles, people that have beards this big, and this is the way they express themselves, and it's something that you really get to realize when I personally got to realize it when I started working there. So this is a big thing for me because it's part of who you are. You need to empower them to make those decisions and to make their style. In every product that we do, that we create, has consumers at their heart, as I told you. But we have so many that it's difficult not to make someone's life better, you know?
Now we know how to get into Phillips as an intern and how the process looks like and what they are looking for. So now I'm more interested in the culture at Phillips. How is it to work there? Do you work a lot, or can you actually manage to maybe go for that running session in the morning as well? Let's find out by talking to Lucia. I guess she will tell me a little bit about that.
Wow. Okay, that doesn't hurt. With a lot of guys.
Hi everyone. Right now I'm sitting here with Lucia, and tell me a little bit about yourself. You're an intern here, right?
Exactly. So I'm an intern for Philips. I'm working in the domestic appliance department in marketing, so I'm doing PR and events. I'm already working like almost by my own. Of course, you always have the support of your managers behind you, so if you fall, they will be there.
Which is also good.
Yeah, no, I'm so glad for that. But they just let me do it and ask me what's my opinion, what do I think about it? Because I'm also a different target. So as a marketing intern, so we need to focus in different groups. So for example, millennials or X generation, so they want to also know about what is my opinion, if I think we should do it this way or the other way. So
that's pretty
really
cool.
Yeah.
You work kind of independently. Is it possible for you as well to be more flexible and like work from other, I don't know, maybe like even other countries, or like do you have to be on set all the time?
That is a great aspect of Philips, because I'm working in Philips International, which is based in Amsterdam.
Okay, yeah.
But I'm originally from Spain, so my university is at Spain.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's really hard to do the exams and stuff from the distance. So whenever I ask my managers or someone like, do you mind if this week I'm going to Spain, sometimes you need to get closer to your family or whatever.
Yeah.
They're like, of course.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Take your laptop and work from home. As long as your work is done,
yeah,
you can work anytime. So it's not also for students, because for me it's really nice to like decide when do I want to work.
Yeah.
But also if you have a family, or if your child is sick or whatever, you can stay perfectly at home, and then do your work at night. They really understand that, and they have it as a base in their values. So that is really something that I really appreciate when I'm working with Philips.
Crazy. That's actually great. So it's basically like they trust you a lot and give you a lot of responsibility, but also flexibility to be like, if I do my job, I can do it from like anywhere and anytime, basically.
Yeah, that is one of the best things of Philips.
Okay.
And also it's really cool that even if there's something you don't like, they will be always open to listen to you.
Okay. So even you can like change tracks within Philips as well? And okay, cool. So if you're an intern or like applying for an internship and you don't know exactly where you want to be, it's okay to change later on?
there are many cases where the interns, not because they don't like it or maybe they find it that is not what they really want to do.
Yeah.
You can also apply internally.
Okay.
So you can always move. And you can tell your managers, look, I like what I'm doing, but this is not what I would like to be. And they will completely understand.
A lot of people that apply to big companies might also be a bit afraid of, crazy working hours or not being able to exercise or, I don't know, see their kids in the evening and stuff like that. You already said that it's a bit flexible, but how are the working hours? Like, you still have to work maybe a lot at home and not be able to do a lot? Or how is the work-life balance?
I would say it's really balanced. So you can really have a life after work.
Yeah.
So I'm not German, but I finish at 5. And if at 5 my work is not done, I will continue the next day.
Okay, yeah.
So, because I always arrive on time, so it depends on the person. But in my case, I want to have a life after work. For example, Phillips provides you with some discounts and stuff to do sports, to the gyms. We have activities once per month together, which is so nice and so funny.
One thing of starting in a big company, feeling like you're just a wheel in this big machine.
Yeah, and the good thing is, like, of course there is a hierarchy, but it's an open space. So my office is an open space. So one day I can be sitting with the CEO of Phillips, and the next day with another intern.
Would you say that it has met your expectation on what a big company would be like?
My expectations were, actually I didn't have any expectations, but I thought I could feel like a little bit tiny, but actually I don't.
Yeah,
I really don't.
What would you say are the qualities that Phillips look for? Like, who should apply?
I would say this is really important. Of course, Phillips is looking for smart people. Like all companies,
if you're smart.
I would say
apply.
So, what they're looking for is hardworking people, dynamic, active, social, people with initiative. Like they really want to see people interested on the company. Not like you can be shy, but you need to show that you are worth it.
Yeah,
like
capable.
You're dynamic. You're active. You want to work. You want to learn. You're always willing to move because as a big company, I think that every 3 years you need to get promoted. You can be moved anytime. You need to be flexible, and I think that's what they want to see.
Okay.
Like flexibility and hard working.
Do you see yourself working in Philips after your internship as well?
Absolutely. I would like to work there, especially in Amsterdam, where everyone is with many different nationalities, or everyone is, because I've never worked in other buildings from Philips, but I guess it's more or less the same because we have the same values. So I would love to work in Philips.
It was a great talk with Lucia, and I was really glad about the flexibility that you can have on Philips, both when it comes to remote work, but also during the day. And now to my favorite topic, healthcare. I have the opportunity to talk with Lisa, which is a graduate that works in the healthcare domain at Philips. I'm sitting here with Lisa, and she's in the graduate program. And I just wanted to talk to you a bit because you're in the healthcare sector, right?
Yes.
Within Philips.
Yes.
And tell me why you chose it.
I studied marketing in the Netherlands also, and I did a master's degree. And I was kind of wondering if that's it or if there's more to the whole topic. And I found out that somehow they don't only do personal stuff like vacuums, TVs, but also do MRIs and big medical technologies.
I think that's something that not a lot of people know, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you think about Philips, you don't always think first about health. It's a big sector, right, within Philips?
Yeah. We already consider ourselves like a health tech company, and it's going even more in that direction, I would say. And yeah, I, as a consumer at the end, I didn't know. I thought Philips TV, but if you look at hospitals and people who work in the hospitals, there's so much you see. If you really look there, you see Philips everywhere basically.
you collaborate a lot with university hospitals and like a lot of innovation within medtech as well.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
It's also like research and development, and it's like doing also research together with like a university hospital.
So if somebody is interested in working at Phillips, like doing an internship or a graduate program like you do, why should they choose like the healthcare sector?
I think because it makes your work easier somehow, because you always have in the back of your mind that there is a purpose in the work you do. That's not just about selling a product, but the product or the system or the solution you actually sell is something that at the end of the day makes someone's life better. The one side, I would say, it's like the purpose you have in your work and that you feel you're doing good and you have somehow a meaning in the stuff you do. But also on the other hand, you want to be part of the development and everything that happens in the future, because we don't know how it will look like in 10 years. But if you work in a company that's changing with the time, you feel like somehow you're part of the change.
We're now at the end of this vlog and Aoife, and I just hope you guys have enjoyed this as much as I've done. All the insights from the graduates and interns and the developer. So thank you so much, Phillips, for inviting me and making this happen. I had a great time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. In that case, I make more of them. Comment below and like it